Okay, hi. Sunday night, Friday, October 3rd. Some questions, reflections from you all. Where do we start? I think there were a lot of questions about next projects. When do we glaze? What's the final exam? So when we finish slabs, we'll glaze some pieces. Definitely the pumpkins. I think there's maybe some coil pots will be done by then as well. And then after glazing, we'll get some people on the wheel. We're limited to 12 at a time. So some of you will be on the wheel, and then some of you will do another hand building project, kind of our main, like our first main project beyond the hand building techniques. So that's all kind of combined. Let's see, what else? How do you measure slabs to make sure they're even and rectangular? I think you have to measure both sides. So is it 4 inches over here, and is it also 4 inches over here, right? Or 2 inches and 2 inches. You just measure all four things. There's like people who work with woodwork say measure twice and cut once. I think it's applicable here. How do you know what leather hard is? Well, I think it's just like we talked about at the very beginning, like leather hard is it's a little bit flexible, but it can hold its own form. It's also best for carving and incising. It gets when you start to do that, you're not pushing the clay around as much as removing the clay. So when it's plastic and really soft leather hard, you draw a line through it and you see all these crumbs or your mush, right? If it's leather hard, then you can pull it away really nicely, and you get like a nice, I just did some trimming, you get like a nice ribbon, right? So the ribbon tool is called that because this comes off of it. This is not the one I used, but to show you an example, right? There's a ribbon or a loop. So loop tool, ribbon tool. Leather hard is a really nice time to work with clay to modify it like that. What else can you do with slabs? Oh, I'll get some pictures together. All sorts of stuff. I don't know. Sculpture boxes, tiles. Yeah, I don't know. We'll find some examples for you. How thin can clay be? Yeah, there's a bunch of these that I need pictures for. So that's one of them. How thin can clay be? Some clay is like translucent, so you can see light coming through it. That's mostly like porcelain. Slab construction. There's some personal stuff. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Can somebody not talk the entire class period? Those are like friends jabbing each other. So I don't know. Like I've had a fun time with slab. There are some things like if the canvas is wet, it'll stick. If you wet the clay, it'll stick to the rolling pin. We saw some clay wrap around the rolling pin. I don't really have a least favorite student. Final exam, there's going to be some questions, which you've all seen. You're starting to see them. There's a project part, and then there's cleaning. And the project part will be relevant to what we do when we get back second semester. Needle tool. Oh, ceramics 2. Plus, I just copied the quiz and then I forgot to change the I forgot to change the question, so you guys got the same question twice. Will we do reflections? Yes. I'll talk about those when we talk about glazing, which is coming up pretty soon. Yes, we'll help fix your flower. It's a bummer, but a couple ideas about how to fix that. After School Studio is from most Tuesdays from 4 to 6. If we have a minimum day, I think we'll just do, maybe I'll just hang out right after the minimum day. Someone used a brush and water for glaze. We gotta remind you about some glaze things. Glazes are not paints, so adding water is not always effective. It maybe applies it differently or more easily, but no. Podcast. I'll get that up on Canvas this week, but you listen to a podcast, I'll give you a list, a bunch to choose from, something about ceramics. You listen to it, you talk about like, hey, this is what happened in the conversation, kind of a overview, and then 3 things that you thought were interesting over the course of the podcast episode. And then there's a bunch, and I think with these ones, I'll do some separate videos, but what is clay made of? Why do pieces crack in the kiln? Can 2 types of clay be joined together? Yes and no. Yes, for sure. Why do glazes change colors? Why do we wedge clay? And how does the kiln get hot? So I think that's everything. My announcements, end of Q1 is this Friday. And then don't forget to make flex time appointments. And hope you're watching, listening. Thanks for the feedback. Thanks for the thoughts. Thanks for a positive year so far.